Good evening and welcome to the Fairfield City School District Board of Education meeting for November 6, 2025. Mr. Phillips, please call the roll.
Mr. Begley.
Here.
Mrs. Birding Miller.
Present.
Mr. Clark. Present. Mrs. Gundrum.
Here.
Mr. Napier.
Here. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Mr. Napier.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Presentations and resolutions. Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Begley and members of the board, we have one presentation scheduled this evening, and that is in regard to our state report card. At this time, I'll turn it over to Mrs. Aug.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. So Mr. Napier's been giving me a hard time lately about not having much to say at board meetings. Little did he know, I've been banking all of those minutes for a 32-slide presentation. So everybody settle in. Be here for a while. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Don't be scared.
Only 30.
So, Mr. Begley, members of the board, I am here tonight with my department members, Dan Jeffers, Georgine Bowman, and Katie Post-Pischel, to share our state report card results with you. We have included a lot of information in the presentation, and we'll highlight and focus on certain things. But of course, we're always happy to go back and spend time on a certain slide if there's a question that you might have. So as you know, the report card is intended to give us information to understand our areas of strength and areas for improvement. Along with the report card, many districts also release a quality profile, which acts as a complement to the report card to capture more of the great things happening in our schools every day. The report card measures achievement, progress, early literacy, gap closing, graduation, and new to the calculation this year is the college, career, workforce, and military readiness component, which rolls right off the tongue. And then all of these components go into a district's overall rating. So we're now in year 4 of the STAR rating system, so I think we're all pretty familiar with this now. This is just a quick reminder of what the stars mean for each component. And each of those components listed in the chart are rated on a 1 to 5 scale. And then a district or a building can earn a half star, but only in their overall rating. This chart is provided to us each year so we can see how districts performed in each component across the state. And then here you can see how a district's overall rating is calculated. Each measure is weighted a little differently. And then the graph to the right shows the distribution of scores across the state. This year, Fairfield earned 3.5 stars, which you can see is in line with most other districts. But the hard part was that we were only 0.03 of a point away from exceeding state expectations and earning those 4 stars like we did last year. And I felt like I had to include this slide. This is not available public-facing data, but this is what lets me know how close we were to 4 stars. So I don't want anyone to think I'm making this up, so I thought I would use tonight to share this. So we needed the 3.125 points for 4 stars, and you can see up there we earned 3.094 in our overall points. So, you know, close doesn't count in most things, maybe horseshoes, hand grenades, whatever the old saying was that you'd never hear anymore. But knowing this information, you know, makes me believe that we will be back in the 4-star category again next year, and we are certainly working hard to get back there. So here's a breakdown of our ratings by building. The green highlight identifies the buildings that showed improvement from last year to this year. And just a few shout outs, I won't read all of them, but I do want to highlight that East, North, South, and the freshman school all exceeded state expectations. with a special congratulations going to North Elementary, the first school in our district to ever earn a 5-star rating. Now we'll move to some comparisons. I included the GMC schools and Butler County schools for your reference, like I do each year. And on this slide, you can see that Fairfield is second to Lakota out of the 4 bigs in Butler County, the large districts in Butler County. And then, as you know from previous years, the most relevant comparison, and the one we will use most tonight, is with similar districts. So ODU provides us this list every year. It usually changes a little bit from year to year, and we will use similar districts as points of comparison as we move through each one of the components. So we're going to start to do that now, digging into each one of the components, starting with achievement. And this is basically how well our students did on state tests, and also includes the performance index. This is where we get more points for students who score above proficient, fewer points for students who score below proficient. And you can see that we're continuing to get just a little bit better every year. So we are at least trending in the right direction. Here's how our 20 similar districts performed on this component. Fairfield is shown in red, and then our top 5 most similar districts are the ones with the arrows there. So Willoughby, Eastlake, with the one behind it, they are most similar to us. Parma is second, and so on. So I've only included the top 5. These are all similar districts. I'm just calling out the top 5 with the arrows. I would still be working on this slide if I had to make more arrows and try to line them up and make them. So now I'm going to turn it over to Georgine and the rest of the team to cover the remaining components.
Hello to all of you. It's good to see you. This is always our favorite day to be presenting in front of you. So the next component that we're looking at is progress. And basically what we're looking for here is how much did students grow over the past year. And our progress score of 4 stars is something that we're always proud of, knowing that students are making growth every year moving forward. ODU has not released all of the progress data as of yet, so this might look a little different from what you've seen in the past, but this is the data that we have. And just looking at this data, you can see that our ELA components are pretty strong. We have some work to do in math, and science has always been a bright spot for us. We have shown growth in science every year. This is the high school. Across content areas, you can see that generally we are in those areas that are showing that students are making pretty significant growth. Algebra is an area that we need to focus on, but again, if you go back and you look at the other slide with the math here, you can see why we have some work to do in mathematics, and we are continuing to do that. With our alignment, with our programs and the different focus that we have, the different foci, I guess it would be, that we have going on this year to really get our students in a good shape with our mathematics programs. The next component is early literacy. We have maintained our 3-star rating in early literacy. 3 measures come into play with our early literacy score, and that is proficiency, which is the achievement in 3rd grade reading, the number of kids that are promoted to 4th grade, and then we also have improvement in K-3 literacy, and basically what that is just when kids go from being, more kids go from being off track to on track the following year. So it's growth over the year. So if they started, like, say, off track in 2nd grade, but then in 3rd grade they're on track, that shows some growth for those kids, and that's part of what they calculate. It's a very convoluted calculation and difficult to work with, but we do our best to try to figure that out. Compared to our similar districts in early literacy, we are in the top half of that with our 3-star rating. And, comparatively to the ones that are most similar to us, we're doing fairly well there.
Wow.
And then this was a bright spot with early literacy. I just want you to see that the number of students that went from being on a ramp or off track from last year, we had 49%. We're now up of kids that are on track, now up to 65% of kids that are on track this year. So, and that shows in the progress data too with ELA. We're showing that we are making growth and that kids are achieving. Now I have to hand it over to Dan.
Gap closing. The gap closing component is a measure of the reduction in the educational gaps for student groups based on goals set by the Ohio's Every Student Succeeds Act, and they increase every year, get higher. As you can see from this graphic here, Fairfield ranged from 2 stars in gap closing all the way to 5 stars with a combined rating of 3 stars. There are, the annual performance goals are established in 6 areas, and the performance of specific student groups are measured against the annual and long-term goals for each area. Those areas are English Language Arts, academic achievement and growth, math, academic achievement and growth, graduation, English learner language proficiency, chronic absenteeism, and the gifted area. The state expectation for all areas is for them to continue to close the gap year after year. So here's a little graphic of the English Language Arts achievement and the growth. We have 8 out of 9 for the achievement and 3 out of 9 for the growth. And each one of those colors represents a different student group. And you can see the key there at the bottom of those. For math, 7 of 9 for achievement, and we didn't achieve any of the growth goals for math this past year. For, change the slide on my iPad, but not for you. Graduation and English learners, and then finally we have chronic absenteeism and gifted. The chronic absenteeism is the exact same that it was last year, 20.1%. Last year we made the goal, this year we didn't because we didn't meet, they increased the goal every year. And the state average this year was 25.1. So we beat the state average. And then for gifted, let's see, we did 3 stars for gifted this year. And our performance index, 96.8%. While we didn't meet the goal, we increased it from last year. Last year we were 95.8%. Here's a comparison to the similar districts. Same list of similar districts in the previous slides. Look at that red line there. And now I'll turn it over to Ms. Focus.
Thank you. This evening, I'll be talking about the last 2 components of our report card, our graduation rate and the college career workforce military readiness, commonly referred to as the CCWMR. Great. The graduation component evaluates our effectiveness in ensuring students complete high school within the state-defined 4th and 5th year cohort. It's essential to note that the graduation data used is always lagged 1 year behind to include all summer graduates. For example, the rates reported on our 24-25 report card reflect the class of 2024, students who started their 9th grade year in 2020. And the class of 2023 for our 5th year cohort, students who started their freshman year in 2019. We've maintained our steady 4-star rating in graduation with a weighted graduation rate of 95.1. Within this area, we are proud to report a strong increase in our 5th year graduation rate by nearly 3% from our previous year. This slide illustrates our focus on student perseverance is paying off. Among our 5 most similar districts, Fairfield holds the second highest 4th and 5th year graduation rates overall. The CCWMR component measures how effectively our programs prepare students for the diverse post-high school paths, whether it's post-secondary education, immediate workforce entry, or military service. Unlike the past 2 years where this component was informational, the 24-25 report card marks the first time CCWMR is fully rated and included in our district's overall report card grade. This component also follows the 1-year data lag rule, meaning the readiness percentage is based entirely on the outcomes of the class of 2024. The CCWMR percentage is calculated by dividing the number of students within the graduating class who meet at least one of the 11 established measures by the total number of students in that graduating cohort. A few of these measures include scoring remediation free on the ACT or SAT, achieving one of the 6 Ohio Honors Diplomas, enlistment into the military, completing a recognized pre-apprenticeship, or earning 12 or more college credits through opportunities such as CCP. The CCWMR calculation mirrors the report card component formerly known as Prepared for Success, meaning the student will only count once in the calculation, no matter how many measures they may meet. As you can see, we have significant opportunities for growth in this area, and we are confident that we will see substantial increase in our rating with the reporting of the class of 2025 and subsequent classes. This confidence is driven by a few initiatives, including an expanded pre-apprenticeship program, and a special acknowledgement goes to High School Assistant Principal Joe Mulberg, who has championed the implementation of this new pre-apprenticeship program. Within this program, currently, we have students who are able to look within industries they are interested in pursuing in the years following their high school career. We currently have approximately 120 students participating this semester in the key industries such as manufacturing, healthcare, and construction. We are grateful for our collaboration with local partners, including Performance Automotive, Snyder Electric, Mercy Health, and Elite Welding Academy, for bringing this opportunity to life for so many of our students. We are also looking for ways to continue to enhance our CCP offerings to provide more pathways for students to earn the qualifying 12 or more college credits needed for this calculation. And we are looking forward to launching the 5th year CCP Spanish course in collaboration with Cincinnati State, and are actively pursuing other CCP courses to offer to our students in the upcoming years. We believe that these strategic, forward-looking initiatives and others will drive continued improvement in both our graduation rate and our readiness component scores in the years ahead. And now I will turn it over to Mandy for some closing statements.
She has such small font on her paper, I don't know how she even saw it. She's clearly the youngest among us. So I wanted to end by sharing some specific action steps we're taking to improve all components of the report card. As we always say, the report card doesn't define us, because there are so many amazing things happening in this district every year that cannot be captured on a report card. But the report card does drive a lot of the work we do, and that's true for my department and all district and building leaders. This list is just a snapshot of some things happening this year to work toward better outcomes next year. The districts moved to iReady, data meetings with the building principals, which aren't really new, but we continue to meet with the building principals twice each year around their report card data and their goals. A focus on improving attendance, working to expand the pre-apprenticeships, as Mrs. Pospischel talked about, are some of the things that we believe will have the greatest impact for our students. And finally, this is not report card related, But we learned earlier this week that 5 of our elementary schools earned the U.S. News and World Report Best Elementary Schools Award. Schools that made the list demonstrated not only high academic proficiency, but did so consistently across diverse student populations, maintaining strong instructional and support systems. So I thought tonight would be a good time to take a minute to publicly celebrate this achievement. Congratulations to the teachers, staff, administrators, and families of Central, Compass, North, South, and West.
That's awesome.
So with that, I will take any questions that you might have.
Questions?
I actually have a question, and maybe I spaced out and missed it, but on the gap closing slides, there was these like golden dots or yellow dots. Can you explain what those dots represent?
Dots are the goal set by the state.
Yeah.
So when they were inside the bar, yeah, we achieved that.
So those change every year, like our goal each year changes, and so those dots just represent where we're at, and it could be 59.2, it could be 67.3, it will change for each subgroup.
Okay, thank you. Otherwise, I mean, as you state, a report card does not define us. We are continuing and learning how they're going to grade us, especially with new cases like the military readiness college, MCC, MWR, I don't know.
My favorite one was the WKRP in Cincinnati component.
So I think that it's great that we're continuing to grow and learn programs like our pre-apprenticeship so that we can prepare our students because, we never truly thought it was something that we weren't excelling at, but now that we kind of have a metric, we can even do that much better for our students. So great job. Thank you so much for making this presentation to the whole staff. You guys always do such a great job making sure that our curriculum is prepared for students and teachers and well executed. And I appreciate everything you guys do, and thank you so much.
I had a question about early literacy. There was a slide where you showed the diagnostic percentages and the significant increase over last year and really over prior years. Slide 246. Yeah, that's it, right there. So do we attribute that tremendous growth to anything in particular besides hard work? And
That's a difficult question in the sense of there's so many things that go into that calculation. But I do think that we are just more focused. I think that we are developing really strong Tier 1 instruction where teachers are well prepared and have a better understanding of teaching and reading. But I also think that we're doing a better job of aligning our Tier 2 supports, which are our interventions and things, to needs of kids, which has been a focus over the past couple of years and continues to be a focus, making sure that we're getting them the right supports for where they're actually struggling. So I really do think that just the professional development and the work that we've been doing around RDLA has given teachers just a stronger understanding of early literacy and what kids need. And all of our teachers are trained in North Gillingham and just lots of things that we've really been focusing in on to give them a strong confidence and really a strong understanding of what kids need to learn.
great, yeah, thank you, because that's just so important, right? It's the foundation.
And that's a great answer. That's a great answer.
Was the iReadiness implemented for the 2024-2025 school year?
No, this year is our first year with
Okay.
iReady.
Well, thank you for the presentation and to your whole team. It's always interesting and really exciting to celebrate that almost 4. If you want to round up, it's 4, but almost 4. That's just great because so much goes into this, as Georgina just said, the training, and over the last couple of years, building and developing all that around not only the team, the teachers, but the students too, right? Part of that. So great job there. And then the apprenticeship program, I think that's just amazing. Mr. Mulberg leading that up is I think that's iconic for what these kids are going to work with. And if I remember correctly, they come to the school that Mercy does and the auto play. They come here for that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome. And
And I
yeah.
believe we have a board presentation in the future that's focused on the pre-apprenticeship.
I believe that
program.
is in January.
Okay, I
And-
don't remember what month.
And while we're talking about the pre-apprenticeship, since that door just got open for me and you actually looked to me to answer a question, I just want to share that, we talk about that program, those opportunities for our kids all the time, and it's just amazing. Recently, I had a community member, actually a former board member, Terry Singer, asked me about, would there be a possibility that he could maybe engage with that program as a pilot and talk about aviation? And I called Joe and said, hey, Terry Singer has approached me. Here's his contact information, or maybe I sent Terry Joe's contact information. They connected. A week later, Joe and I had a conversation about something else, and I said, hey, what happened with Terry? And Terry, if you're watching this, sorry I'm telling your story, and I haven't even talked to you about it yet, but he said Terry came in and watched the program, I think, with some other organizations, stayed for 30 minutes, came to the office, said, I'm ready, when can I start? I'd like to do a 6-week program or something like that, and then off they are going, just like that. And that has happened numerous times this year, and every time Joe is so excited. I mean, this aviation, here we go. I mean, this is unbelievable. I mean, he's so excited and passionate, but really, I mean, you heard the numbers tonight, how many kids we have involved, and I've seen those projections. They have goals for just, more students second semester and so on and so forth. And since I have the mic, I just want to say that, that when you ask a question and Georgine has an answer ready for you about, what, and just for people who aren't here, that's how it works here. They just don't, they're not in it, so they don't realize it, that we have people all over this district who are just working so hard for our kids and our families, and there are just so many things going on behind the scenes. I saw she had attendance listed in our last meeting. We talked about Dr. Franchini has spreadsheets and these giant posters in her office of all these kids' names and attendance records, and she sees it every day and makes phone calls, and that's what our teachers and our administrators are doing over the entire district. And it's not a coincidence that we were 4 stars last year and we're just that short today. And Scott, I appreciate your roundup philosophy. Might maybe spend some time with Mr. Crapo. He doesn't believe in rounding up. But I'll stop now. I could go on and on, but I'll stop. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that, Mr. Smith. That's just, like you said, so much that the community doesn't see. A lot of people don't understand, especially if they don't come to a board meeting and see these great presentations or watch them, afterwards. They miss a lot of information. And y'all did a great job. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hawk.
Yes. All right. We ready for superintendent's recommendations and reports?
Yes.
All right.